Welcome back to the Kiss-a-thon, Kiss Army. Today we're talking about Kiss Destroyer from 1976. Yeah. I actually love Destroyer. I know there's Kiss fans that don't, but
Tell me about it.
I gotta admit, I do love Destroyer. I love the songs on the album. I kind of don't have a problem with anything on the album, honestly. And I know that people complain about little things that Bob Ezrin did, but I think those things made Kiss better, though, because this album is even more Beatlesque than the other Kiss albums, because the Beatles experimented in the late 60s, and they added a lot of different instruments to the songs of the Beatles, and it made the songs better, and they made them deeper, and they were becoming better musicians. And the same thing happened with Kiss.
We're just ordinary human beings.
So Kiss embraced that change, and that's cool because Kiss were the Beatles of the 1970s. And I find it odd that there's Kiss fans that don't like that, but I guess it's just a preference thing. But to me, I find it to be an improvement. I mean, how many times do you want Kiss to make the same exact songs in the same exact way for like 10,000 albums? No, because this album still has the spirit of Kiss, and it still has the sound of Kiss for the most part, and that's what matters. Also, what do you guys think of my Kiss Destroyer Cola? Pretty cool, huh? Cola with a K for Kiss. I kept it around as a collector's item, but I ordered it in the mail. Wouldn't it be kind of cool if there actually was, Kiss soda, like as a regular brand? Pretty sick, right? And it tasted pretty good. Wasn't bad. Yeah, classic Kiss Destroyer Cola. Buy yours today. Come on, Curly. Have some Kiss Cola. Kiss Destroyer Cola. Ark. Ark, 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 ark. That's enough.
Leave it to me, Star Child. I'll bend these beams with my mind.
Of course, the first thing I talk about is the damn cover, which is amazing. This is the original version that was re-released, called Resurrected. But this is the original painting that was made, and they said it was too violent. So they changed it to this, which was the original version released in the 70s. And I'm actually glad this happened. There's other Kiss fans that don't like that this happened. But I prefer this change they made, the second painting, better than the first, than the original here. I like this better. It's more colorful, and their outfits are different, which is cool because now they have Destroyer outfits on. If we got this album cover instead, we would have gotten the same exact outfits from the last album, Kiss Alive, which wouldn't have been any different. But here, whoever made this, it gave Kiss, the boys of Kiss, their own new outfits, which is pretty cool. So time for some secrets on the album cover. You got symbology. Paul is pointing up, and so is Gene. Symbolic that Gene and Paul think that they're both above Peter and Ace. They secretly feel that way.
He's really got you down, Demon.
Peter is wearing a cross necklace around his neck on the album cover because he is a Christian. And all the boys of Kiss had their own little secrets on their album, on their costumes, which means something, All these little secrets. It's occultic and whatever. Peter was the only person that had secret symbols that were positive secret symbols. Also, on the original version, he also wears a tiny cross as a necklace as well, and he can't see it here. It's Peter basically saying he's a Christian, despite the fact that he's in, the evil Kiss, but that's like the dark side of Peter. At Peter's core, he believes in God and Jesus, and that's cool about Peter, and it's only one of the reasons why Peter's my favorite band member, but anyway. Another secret on the album cover, Ace has 4 fingers up here, representing 4. He's saying there's 4 band members of Kiss. He's also doing that on the original, see? And he's pointing at you. Also does that on the original. What does that mean? I think he means you. He's pointing at you like you are now part of us. Like this album especially, it feels like it's drawing you in. This album itself, I really think it's called Destroyer because it's a concept album. This is something no one talks about, but I will. Kiss Destroyer is secretly a concept album. Like how the Beatles had concept albums, like Sgt. Pepper. This is not a regular Kiss album. All the tracks are not completely different from one another in terms of it's not like they're all have a different message each track. Each track is part of a big overarching story. Yes. And most people don't realize this. But the millionth time you listen to the album, you start to notice shit like that. So this album's about basically the apocalypse. Destroyer. I think it's a reference to Helter Skelter because Kiss were secretly occultic. And Kiss they are the destroyers in this album concept. They're basically like they're burning the world. They're destroying the world because they are bringing anarchy, right? And even in the new final version of the album cover they made, they still had tiny flames of the cities being burned in the background. They watered it down because they said the original version was too violent with all the flames. And then now Kiss is like destroying the world and they're like taking over the world. They're like jumping up. All right. So let's talk about the tracks now. Detroit Rock City. I used to love this track, and no offense to other Kiss fans, because I love you all. I'm part of the Kiss Army myself. Man, the first memory of listening to Detroit Rock City, I like fell in love with this song, and I just loved it so much, and it was one of the reasons I got into Kiss. But after the millionth time I heard it, I've grown to dislike Detroit Rock City. I mean, I still like it. But Detroit Rock City is played way too much. They like ruined this song by playing it live. Why do they have to always play the first song they play live is Detroit Rock City ever since like the 90s. So like for 30 years they always start off with Detroit Rock City and it's fucking annoying. Why do they have to always start with Detroit Rock City? I hate that. Ugh. So the song, right? Let's begin with this concept theory of mine, of the concept album. Well, Detroit Rock City is about a song about a fan who is at work. He hates his job, obviously. He goes in his car, he's listening to Kiss on the radio, and now he's going to drive to a Kiss concert, and he gets killed on his drive to the Kiss concert. And instead of the Kiss band members mourning his death, they sing a song about how Detroit is like a city of rock, a city of anarchy, a city of mayhem, basically caused by them. So that guy, he's dead, right? King of the Nighttime World is amazing. I think it's a remake, a cover song from another band, and I should know the name of the other band, but fuck it, I don't know what it is. I love it. This is my favorite track, I think, on Destroyer. Paul is always calling himself the king. He's the king of the nighttime world, the king of the mountain, you know. God of Thunder is amazing. And I don't know why people complain about the little bratty kid in the song. I think the kid is awesome. He kind of makes the song more creepy because the kid becomes possessed in the song as it continues. Gene really is the devil in this song. God of Thunder is the most satanic Kiss song ever. Great Expectations, I love, actually. I think Great Expectations is great. I know a lot of Kiss fans hate it, but I love it. Flaming Youth is great. Sweet Pain is underrated as fuck. I love Sweet Pain. That song's amazing. Sweet Pain and King of the Nighttime World, the best songs on the album, in my opinion. And it's interesting how they're both across from each other here. Shout It Out Loud is also amazing as well, you know. Beth, of course, is amazing. Do You Love Me is good, but it's a little overplayed. It's just, you know, Paul being full of himself again, just like Gene, again. So how's it a concept album? Well, the guy driving the car dies, right? And then after he dies, Paul declares himself the king of the nighttime world. So Paul is like celebrating his death, kind of. God of Thunder is like Gene, you know, he's taken over the world, he's evil, right? And now everyone worships Kiss, you know, Detroit worships Kiss. Great Expectations is like the crowds are worshiping them, you know, like they're the gods of the world or whatever. Flaming Youth is a song about Paul gloating about how he has the Kiss Army in the palm of his hand, and he's controlling them with his lyrics. So again, I guess the concept of this album is that Kiss has found a way to destroy the world. That's why it's called Destroyer. It's like they are the destroyers of the world in this album. Sweet Pain, it's Gene talking about how he likes being sadistic in a sexual way, and his lyrics to his songs about him being sleazy is now influencing all of the youth of the world, and now everyone thinks like Gene in a sleazy kind of manner. So not only has Kiss killed people, manipulated people, controlled their minds, took over the earth, people now manipulated and influenced how they think sexually. Shout It Out Loud is, once again, this is a very rebellious song. And this album is all about killing the old. It's all about the youth taking over the world with Kiss. And Kiss destroying the world and the youth, basically. Because there's the lyric in Shout It Out Loud that's like, don't let them tell you that there's too much noise, they're too old to really understand, And Beth, okay? Beth could have been the wife of the guy that died in the car crash in Detroit Rock City. That could have been his wife. And the lyrics to Beth, they could be related to the guy and the friends he knew. You also could say, like, the guy died driving to go to a Kiss concert, and also that's similar to going to a concert is similar to playing in a band, which is what the husband of Beth does. So Beth's husband could have been the guy that died in the car crash in Detroit Rock City. Do You Love Me is like Paul, he's taken over the world, Paul. So Do You Love Me is like, now that's the final nail in the coffin, like, I destroyed the world, but do you love me? That's Paul right there. That's Paul for you. So another thing to talk about is God of Thunder. Like I said, I think it's the most satanic Kiss song ever. Well, no, actually, there's more satanic Kiss songs on Revenge. If you listen carefully at the end of God of Thunder, you can hear a demon voice at the very end of the song that says Satan at the end of the track. You have to listen to it very carefully, and maybe I'll make a video showing that, but I swear, like, it says Satan at the end of that track, God of Thunder. Everyone doesn't listen to it because people don't think about this stuff, but the devil is tricky, I'm a born-again Christian, so that's why I relate to Peter the most of the band, but I do have another side to me, and I think that I can see the darkness in Kiss. I can see the secret stuff that other people don't really realize about these guys. That's a whole other video, but you'll hear me mention sprinkles of their Freemason, Illuminati stuff in the band as this series progresses. Can't say too much stuff, though, Don't want to get my channel be removed. But yeah, Kiss Destroyer is a great album. I really don't, again, I don't have any problems with it. I don't. So what's a better version? The resurrected version or the original version? Well, I mean, there were certain tracks here I liked better on the resurrected version. So, I mean, I guess this might be a better version, but I don't know. They're both cool versions to have. I love this CD here. They made it silver, like a silver vinyl. Shout It Out Loud, Kiss Army. Love that. This is an amazing CD design. Look at that. I also love this photograph they took at the time with their destroyer outfits. I love this photo in particular because they're walking at you, and the way the camera takes the photograph, it's like they're giants. They're like Godzilla walking around in this photograph. And again, this is like Kiss taking over the world. Destroyer. It's the perfect, People think The Elder was just the concept album. No, Kiss had 2 concept albums, maybe 3. The first concept album by Kiss is Destroyer. This is the, anniversary edition they released, which is really cool. It has some unreleased tracks, which is awesome. I love these unreleased tracks, and I don't know why people hate them. And I wish they appeared on an album instead of just this anniversary of the original albums. Maybe they're worried that people won't buy them, but why can't they take all the best unreleased Kiss songs, make a new Kiss album with the songs, and make it a painting with the original 4 on the album cover and give it a new fancy title. And now you have a new Kiss album that's a 70s album that comes out in the 2020s. Why can't you do that? So annoying. Maybe it's their way of getting around not having to pay Peter and Ace money, because that's all that Gene cares about is money. Like, there's a song on here called Star, where Gene's talking about, I know I'm a star. I love that track, and people don't like it. I don't get it. Look how cool this is. Yeah, they did a lot of great stuff here with the discs and the old tickets and old, like, vintage posters and everything. I love this photograph. Look at this photograph, the 4 of them. They look so cool in this. Well, anyway, guys, this is my review for Kiss Destroyer. Do you guys think it's a concept album? Do you agree with me? Please leave some comments, like, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. I love making these videos. I'll keep making them if I get enough comments. I love Kiss, and my whole plan is to make a review for every Kiss album. So we'll see where it goes. All right, Kiss Army. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on the Kiss-a-thon on the Super Pet 98 channel. Blech.